Alice in Wonderland, Scene 7. No room, no room. Ah, but it's very rude to sit down without being invited. I'd say it's rude, very rude indeed. Very, very rude indeed. Have some wine. There isn't any. Well, it wasn't very nice of you to sit down without being invited. Why is a raven like a writing desk? You do. Tell us one. A turtle. A rock. Soap. Butter. Mustard. Oh yes, what a wonderful... Mustard? Let's don't be silly here. Totalitarianism? Tea? Oh my goodness gracious, where are my manners? Would you care for some tea? One lump or two? Answer to what? What riddle? Why, yes, it is an unbirthday party. It is very simple. Now, 30 days, half September... No. When an unbirthday... If you have a birthday, then you... She doesn't know when an unbirthday is. Allow me to elucidate. How many days are there in a year? And how many birthdays do you have a year? And what is 1 from 365? Really? Let me see that in writing. Well, for the other 364 days are unbirthdays, precisely because they do not fall on your birthday. It is? What day is it? 2 days slow. I told you not to put any butter in it. It was the very best butter. Yes, but there were crumbs in it. Only because you put the butter in with the bread knife. Oh, my dear child, we are terribly sorry. Here we are, gabbing our heads off, talking about bread and butter knives, while you sit there bored to tears. Why don't you tell us a story? Well, how did you come about visiting here? There must be a story behind that. Go on anyway, and if you have trouble, start at the beginning, and when you come to the end, stop. Clean cup, move down. Have you guessed the riddle yet? Yes, silly girl, don't you remember? How was a raven like a writing desk? I haven't the slightest idea, nor I. Twinkle, 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 twinkle. Do you mean you could answer the impossible? Well, then, you should say what you mean. Not the same one bit. Why, you might as well just say, I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see. You might just as well say that I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like. You might just as well say that I breathe when I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe. Your hair wants cutting. Then why aren't you on your knees? Well, it's true. Clean cup, clean cup. Now, my dear, would you like a little more tea? You mean you can't very well take less. Yes, you can always have more than nothing. This one's just hot water. Would you do the honor, miss? You killed him. The poor thing never stood a chance. A cup laced with murder just won't do. Clean cup, clean cup. No. Where are your manners? He's always like this. We can't take him anywhere. Well, the reason we moved about so much is because we have been cursed. More like banished. Or maybe doomed, sentenced, betrayed, captive, excommunicated. I'm going to stick with cursed. By time, of course. We quarreled last month, and because he was offended, he made all time for us tea time. Hence the reason why we move around so much. No time to wash, you know. A dreadful existence, really. What was that? I have an excellent suggestion. Let's change the subject. Let's wake the dormouse. Yes, let's. I'm up. We need a diversion. Divert us. Shall I tell a story? Wonderful. Something you should know. These two are suckers for stories. Once upon a time there were 3 little sisters, and their names were Elsie, Lacey, and Tilly, and they lived at the bottom of a well. They lived on treacle. So they were, very ill. It was a treacle well. Shh! If you can't be civil, you'd better finish the story for yourself. And so these 3 little sisters, they were learning to draw, you know. Treacle. You can draw water out of a water well, so I should think that you can draw treacle out of a treacle well. Of course they were, well in. They were learning to draw, and they drew some manner of things, everything that begins with the letter M. Why not? Everything that begins with an M, such as mousetraps and the moon and memory and muchness. You know, you say things are much of a muchness, but did you ever see such a thing as a drawing of muchness? Well, I can see you are not one who is appreciative of culture. Yes, our culture. That story was the founding of our country. There's no respect from youth nowadays. You can say that again. I find that hard to believe. Those places sound quite absurd, like you just made them up. I haven't heard of them, so they must not be real. I don't want to hear it. Anyone who disowns our culture must not be allowed to speak theirs. Quiet. I didn't come to get lessons in algebra. Then what did you come for? Nothing. This is my house. I came for the tea, and, what did you say brought you here? Cat! Cat! Get the jam! Get the jam! Oi, just when we were having a nice moment. Now, what were you saying, my dear? I do? Tea! Just a half a cup if you don't mind. Thank you. And you? Pass the muffins, please. Are you sure? And the butter. Yes. Knife. Get the knife yourself. Don't you see me trying to have a pleasant conversation with our guest? Yes, our guest who wasn't invited. But she's nice enough and drank our tea. It's her own birthday, and they set the dormouse off not 2 minutes ago. Trivial, trivial, trivial. And ate all our crumpets. Ha ta 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 ta. This is the last straw. These are the things that upset me. All right, sir, this calls for a duel. Fisticuffs, fisticuffs. How should I know? Find out for yourself. Twinkle, twinkle. Face me like a man, you long-eared, oversized rabbit. Get back here, you needle-licking loon. Really? Okay, and that was scene 7.